Every day, we wake up with countless responsibilities, distractions, and challenges. We get busy moving from one task to another, rarely pausing to think about why we are doing what we do or who we are becoming in the process. Yet, the key to transformation, true lasting change, does not lie in external achievements. It begins within. It begins with asking the right questions. Today, I want to share 7 powerful self-reflection questions that, when asked daily, can transform your life. The first question is simple yet profound. Am I living in alignment with my values? We often measure success by external markers, wealth, status, recognition. But fulfillment comes from knowing that our actions mirror our beliefs. Pause and examine it. Are your choices, your words, your commitments reflecting what truly matters to you? The clarity you gain from this question sets a foundation for intentional living. The second question is, what am I grateful for today? Gratitude is not merely a polite gesture. It is a lens that shifts perspective. When we focus on what we have rather than what we lack, we cultivate joy, resilience, and positivity. A daily practice of gratitude rewires our brain, helping us see opportunities instead of obstacles, abundance instead of scarcity. The third question is, what did I learn today? Life is a continuous classroom. Each interaction, success, or setback carries a lesson if we are willing to notice. Reflecting on learning encourages growth and adaptability. It transforms mistakes from failures into stepping stones, reminding us that progress is built on curiosity and humility. The fourth question asks, who did I impact today and how? Life is not lived in isolation. The quality of our relationships and the positive influence we have on others are often the most meaningful measures of a life well lived. Reflect on your actions. Did you uplift, inspire, or support someone today? Even the smallest gestures can create ripples far beyond what we see. The fifth question is, what am I avoiding and why? Often, the challenges we resist the most are the ones we need to confront. Avoidance may provide temporary comfort, but it limits growth. Honest reflection on what we avoid and why illuminates fear, procrastination, or limiting beliefs, empowering us to act courageously. The sixth question is, am I taking care of my mind, body, and spirit? Transformation is holistic. Physical health, mental clarity, and emotional well-being are interconnected. Ask yourself if you are nourishing yourself through proper rest, exercise, learning, and reflection. Without this balance, even the best intentions cannot manifest fully. Finally, the seventh question, what can I do tomorrow to be better than today? This question keeps us moving forward with purpose. Growth is incremental, and consistency is key. By planning small, deliberate actions for the next day, we create momentum, turning reflection into meaningful progress. These 7 questions are not mere exercises, they are tools for intentional living. They create awareness, accountability, and insight. When practiced daily, they shift our focus from external noise to internal alignment, from reactive living to proactive transformation. The power to transform your life lies not in changing the world around you, but in asking these questions and committing to the answers within yourself. 5 keynotes of the speech transformation begins with self-awareness, not external achievements. Daily reflection cultivates alignment between values, actions, and goals. Gratitude and learning turn challenges into opportunities for growth. Impacting others and nurturing relationships adds deeper meaning to life. Incremental, conscious improvements create lasting, transformative change. Transformation begins with self-awareness, not external achievements. We live in a world that constantly measures success by outward markers, promotions, wealth, accolades, social media approval, or recognition from others. These external measures often leave us feeling incomplete, restless, and even disconnected from our true selves. Real change, the kind that shapes character, mindset, and life direction, cannot be bought or borrowed. It cannot be imposed by society or defined by comparison. It begins within. Self-awareness is the foundation upon which all meaningful transformation is built, because without it, no action, no matter how ambitious or well-intentioned, can lead to lasting fulfillment. Self-awareness is not a passive state. It is an active, ongoing practice of understanding who you are, why you do what you do, and whether your daily choices reflect your deepest values. It is the mirror that allows you to see yourself clearly without judgment, without distraction, without pretense. It is asking yourself the hard questions that most people avoid. It is noticing patterns in your behavior, emotions, and decisions, and recognizing how they influence your life. Without this awareness, you can work tirelessly, chase goals relentlessly, and achieve much, yet still feel unfulfilled, lost, or misaligned. Self-awareness gives clarity. When you understand your own motivations, strengths, weaknesses, and triggers, you begin to make choices intentionally rather than reactively. You stop drifting in life based on circumstance or the expectations of others. Instead, you start shaping your life with purpose and alignment. This is why daily reflection is so critical. It is not enough to think about yourself once in a while. Self-awareness requires consistent attention. Each day presents an opportunity to pause, examine your thoughts, evaluate your actions, and question your assumptions. Simple questions like whether your decisions align with your values, whether your words reflect your intentions, or whether your actions contribute to who you want to become are powerful tools. They illuminate areas where change is needed, reveal blind spots, and highlight the opportunities you may have been missing. Self-awareness also empowers accountability. When you are truly conscious of your choices and their impact, you take ownership of your life. You no longer blame circumstances, other people, or external events for where you are. You recognize that transformation is not about changing the world first. It is about changing yourself, your mindset, and your approach, the more you practice self-awareness, the more you begin to notice subtle shifts in your thinking and behavior. You start identifying limiting beliefs that have held you back. You begin to recognize patterns of procrastination, fear, or avoidance. You see where you have been reactive rather than proactive, and where you have settled for comfort instead of growth. Awareness does not mean self-criticism. It means observation, understanding, and learning. It allows you to respond thoughtfully instead of impulsively, to choose growth over stagnation, and to act with integrity rather than habit. Self-awareness also deepens your emotional intelligence. By noticing how emotions influence decisions, relationships, and behaviors, you become better equipped to manage stress, communicate effectively, and navigate challenges. You recognize when fear or ego is guiding your choices, and you can course correct before it leads to unintended consequences. Importantly, self-awareness is not a one-time achievement. It is a lifelong journey. Every day presents new experiences, new challenges, and new insights about yourself. The person you were yesterday is not the person you are today, and the person you will be tomorrow depends on the awareness you cultivate now. Transformation, therefore, is not about dramatic overnight changes or external validation. It is about continuous, conscious evolution rooted in knowing yourself deeply. This is why self-awareness must precede action. Goals, strategies, and habits are powerful only when they align with your true self. When you operate without awareness, even the best strategies can feel hollow or unsustainable. When you operate with awareness, every decision carries purpose, every action carries intention, and every effort contributes meaningfully to the life you want to create. In short, transformation begins not with what you do, but with who you understand yourself to be, and how clearly you see the path that aligns with that understanding. Self-awareness is the compass, and daily reflection is the practice that keeps it calibrated. Daily reflection cultivates alignment between values, actions, and goals. Most people go through life moving from one task to another, reacting to external demands, and chasing objectives set by society, peers, or circumstance. In the process, it is easy to lose sight of one fundamental question. Are the things we do every day actually bringing us closer to the life we want to live? Alignment is about coherence, when your values, your actions, and your goals are all pointing in the same direction. Without alignment, effort can feel wasted, progress can feel meaningless, and even success can feel hollow. Reflection is the tool that brings this alignment into focus. When you take time to pause, consider your choices, and evaluate your direction, you are effectively recalibrating your life. You are checking whether the energy, time, and resources you invest in your day are in harmony with your deepest priorities. This is not a one-time exercise, it is a daily practice. Alignment does not happen automatically. Life is filled with distractions, urgencies, and competing demands that can pull you away from what truly matters. Without regular reflection, it is easy to drift, letting habits, obligations, or the expectations of others dictate your path. Daily reflection acts as a compass, guiding you back to your core values and your true goals. When you reflect on your day, you begin to notice patterns. You identify which actions move you forward and which actions drain you or pull you off course. You begin to understand what is productive and meaningful versus what is merely busywork. This awareness allows you to make deliberate choices instead of reacting out of habit or pressure. Reflection also strengthens your sense of purpose. When you examine whether your actions align with your values, you are reconnecting with why you do what you do. Purpose is not a vague concept. It is a living, breathing framework that gives direction to your decisions, focus to your efforts, and meaning to your achievements. The more you align your actions with your purpose, the more energy, motivation, and satisfaction you experience. Furthermore, alignment creates integrity in your life. When your behaviors match your beliefs and goals, you experience a sense of wholeness. Your decisions feel authentic, your relationships feel honest, and your work feels meaningful. On the other hand, misalignment creates tension, stress, and dissatisfaction. It leads to feelings of regret, guilt, or confusion because your daily actions do not reflect who you truly are or what you truly value. Reflection helps you spot these moments of misalignment early, giving you the chance to adjust before small missteps accumulate into larger patterns that can derail your growth. Daily reflection also encourages adaptability. Life is unpredictable, and goals or priorities can shift over time. By regularly reviewing your actions in light of your values, you remain flexible and responsive rather than rigid or reactive. You can course correct, letting go of habits or commitments that no longer serve you, and embracing those that move you closer to meaningful outcomes. Another critical aspect of reflection is that it deepens self-awareness. It forces you to ask hard questions. Did I act in alignment with my principles today? Did I invest time and effort in what matters most? Did I compromise my integrity or my values in pursuit of convenience, approval, or short-term gain? Answering these questions honestly provides insight, accountability, and the opportunity for growth. Finally, alignment between values, actions, and goals is not about perfection. It is about intention and consistency. Daily reflection does not mean you will always make the right choices, but it ensures that over time, your life becomes more coherent, meaningful, and purpose-driven. It transforms routine into deliberate action, distraction into focus, and obligation into opportunity. Reflection turns chaos into clarity, noise into direction, and passive living into proactive growth. The daily habit of examining your life through this lens gradually reshapes your mindset, strengthens your decision-making, and empowers you to live in a way that feels true to yourself. It is in these small, deliberate moments of reflection that the greatest transformation takes root, and where the alignment that leads to fulfillment, success, and impact is forged. Gratitude and learning turn challenges into opportunities for growth. Every day presents us with experiences that can either drain us or teach us valuable lessons, depending on how we perceive them. Most people live on autopilot, focusing on what is missing, what went wrong, or what they wish they had. In this mindset, challenges feel like obstacles, setbacks feel like failures, and life becomes a series of frustrations. However, when we cultivate the habit of gratitude and intentionally reflect on what we have learned, we shift the lens through which we experience the world. Gratitude is not merely a polite acknowledgement or a fleeting thought. It is a conscious decision to recognize the value in every situation, relationship, and resource we encounter. When you take the time to appreciate what you already possess, your abilities, your relationships, your opportunities, you create a mental environment that fosters resilience, optimism, and clarity. Gratitude rewires the mind, helping you notice abundance rather than scarcity, solutions rather than problems, and possibility rather than limitation. When challenges arise, a grateful mindset allows you to see them not as threats, but as catalysts for growth. Each problem becomes a lesson, each setback a guidepost, and each difficulty an invitation to develop new skills, perspectives, or strengths. Alongside gratitude, reflecting on learning is equally transformative. Life is inherently a series of lessons. Every interaction, every success, and every failure carries insights if we are willing to notice and internalize them. By asking yourself, what did I learn today? You shift the focus from outcome to process, from result to growth. This question forces you to evaluate experiences thoughtfully, to extract meaning from moments that might otherwise pass unnoticed. Learning encourages humility. It reminds us that we are not perfect, that we will make mistakes, and that every error carries the potential for improvement. Instead of resisting failure, we begin to embrace it as an essential component of development. Mistakes become stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks, and setbacks become opportunities to refine strategy, perspective, and behavior. When gratitude and learning are practiced together, they create a feedback loop for continuous personal evolution. Gratitude keeps us grounded in the present, helping us acknowledge what is going well and the resources at our disposal. Reflection on learning directs us toward growth, highlighting where change is necessary and what we can do better tomorrow. This combination transforms daily experiences into a rich curriculum for life. Furthermore, gratitude and learning cultivate emotional intelligence. By noticing what we value, what moves us, and how we react to challenges, we develop insight into our emotions and behaviors. We become more attuned to our responses, more capable of managing stress, and more empathetic toward others. Life ceases to be a chaotic sequence of events. Instead, it becomes a series of intentional actions guided by understanding, awareness, and appreciation. The practice of reflecting on learning also encourages problem solving and innovation. When you examine what went wrong or what could be improved, you begin to identify patterns, root causes, and new approaches. Challenges are no longer points of frustration. They are opportunities to adapt, innovate, and grow stronger. Gratitude, in parallel, sustains motivation. Recognizing the positives, even amidst difficulties, gives energy to keep moving forward. It balances the critical eye needed for learning with the optimism required for perseverance. Daily reflection on both gratitude and learning fosters a mindset of abundance, adaptability, and resilience. It reminds us that life is not only about achievements or outcomes, but about the wisdom and perspective we gain along the way. Over time, this mindset creates a person who is capable of handling adversity with grace, appreciating success with humility, and navigating life with purpose. By consistently asking ourselves what we are grateful for and what we learned each day, we transform ordinary experiences into powerful agents of personal growth. Challenges become meaningful, setbacks become opportunities, and every day becomes a chance to evolve into a stronger, wiser, and more fulfilled version of ourselves. Impacting others and nurturing relationships adds deeper meaning to life. We often focus on personal goals, achievements, and self-improvement, believing that success is defined by what we gain, accumulate, or accomplish individually. While personal growth is essential, the truth is that life reaches its fullest significance when it extends beyond ourselves. Human beings are inherently social creatures, wired to connect, collaborate, and influence one another. The quality of our relationships and the impact we have on the people around us are often the most profound measures of a life well lived. Every interaction, no matter how small, carries the potential to leave a lasting impression. A kind word, a helpful gesture, or even a listening ear can ripple far beyond the immediate moment, shaping someone's day, mindset, or life trajectory. Yet many of us underestimate the power of our influence. We assume that only grand actions or monumental achievements matter, but true impact is often subtle and consistent. By reflecting daily on who we touched and how, we cultivate awareness of our social footprint, allowing us to act with intention rather than passively drifting through relationships. Nurturing relationships requires presence, empathy, and authenticity. It means actively listening, offering support without expectation, and showing appreciation for those around us. Reflection helps us notice whether we are investing in the people matter, whether our interactions uplift and inspire, and whether we are living in a way that aligns with our values in the context of others. Moreover, the impact we have on others is deeply intertwined with personal growth. When we focus on contribution rather than solely on achievement, we shift from a mindset of scarcity to one of abundance. We realize that our value is not limited to what we accumulate, but magnified by what we give. Each act of kindness, mentorship, or encouragement strengthens not only the recipient, but also ourselves, reinforcing purpose, connection, and fulfillment. Impact also requires courage. It means speaking the truth when it is uncomfortable, offering help when it might go unnoticed, and making sacrifices for the benefit of others. These actions are not always easy, but reflection helps us recognize where we might be holding back or avoiding opportunities to make a difference. When we evaluate our daily interactions, we see patterns of engagement and disengagement, moments where we could have acted more thoughtfully or intentionally. By identifying these moments, we gain the power to improve and deepen our relationships over time. The practice of nurturing relationships and reflecting on our impact also enhances emotional intelligence. We become more attuned to the feelings, needs, and perspectives of others. We learn to respond rather than react, to understand rather than judge, and to support rather than merely observe. This growth strengthens bonds, builds trust, and fosters collaboration in every area of life, personal, professional, and social. Furthermore, recognizing our influence encourages accountability. Our words, actions, and attitudes affect others, often in ways we may not immediately realize. Reflection forces us to consider whether our behavior is constructive or harmful, whether we are inspiring or discouraging, and whether we are building bridges or walls. Over time, this practice nurtures a sense of responsibility for the energy we bring into every interaction. The cumulative effect of consistent, intentional impact is profound. Relationships become richer, networks stronger, and communities more supportive. Our life begins to feel interconnected, purposeful, and meaningful. We move from self-centered living to contribution-centered living, understanding that our legacy is measured not by what we own, but by the lives we touch and the positive changes we foster. In essence, daily reflection on impact transforms ordinary interactions into deliberate opportunities for influence and growth. It reminds us that life is not only about personal success, but also about how we enrich the experiences of others. By investing in relationships and considering our impact, we create a life that is not only successful in achievement, but also significant in purpose, meaningful in connection, and powerful in contribution. Incremental, conscious improvements create lasting, transformative change. Many people believe that transformation requires dramatic, sweeping actions or sudden life-altering decisions. They think that to change their lives, they must completely overhaul their routines, abandon old habits overnight, or achieve monumental goals in a short period of time. While ambitious efforts can be inspiring, true and lasting transformation rarely occurs through sudden leaps. Real change is a cumulative process built from small, deliberate actions repeated consistently over time. Each choice, no matter how minor it may seem, contributes to the trajectory of your life. Incremental improvement is not about perfection, it is about progress. It is the understanding that meaningful growth is composed of a series of small, intentional steps that compound into substantial outcomes. By focusing on conscious daily improvement, you begin to shift your mindset from reactive living to proactive growth. Every day offers countless opportunities to improve a habit refined, a skill practiced, a mindset adjusted, or a behavior shifted. When these small improvements are made consistently, they accumulate into a powerful force that transforms not just circumstances, but character, resilience, and perspective. Conscious improvement requires awareness and reflection. You cannot improve what you do not notice. This is why self-reflection and honest evaluation of daily actions are essential. By asking questions such as, what can I do tomorrow to be better than today? Or how could I have acted more intentionally today? You develop the habit of identifying opportunities for growth. Once recognized, these opportunities must be acted upon deliberately. Small adjustments in behavior, thought patterns, or habits may seem insignificant on their own, but repeated over days, weeks, and months, they create momentum. Incremental improvements are sustainable because they are manageable. They do not overwhelm the mind or body, and they reduce the resistance that often comes with attempting dramatic change. They allow for flexibility, adaptation, and learning from mistakes along the way. Each step forward, no matter how small, reinforces confidence and builds competence. Over time, these small victories create a compounding effect. Just as a single drop of water may seem insignificant, thousands of drops can fill a reservoir. Similarly, or the daily decisions to improve your mindset, skill set, and habits gradually shape the person you become, the life you lead, and the results you achieve. Conscious improvement also fosters resilience. When change is incremental, setbacks become part of the process rather than catastrophic failures. Each challenge or mistake provides feedback, allowing you to refine your approach and continue moving forward. This mindset encourages persistence, patience, and adaptability, qualities essential for long-term success and personal growth. Furthermore, the process of incremental improvement encourages focus and intentionality. Rather than attempting to do everything at once, you learn to prioritize the most impactful actions, to invest your energy wisely, and to measure progress through observable, meaningful indicators. This clarity enhances efficiency, reduces wasted effort, and creates a sense of purpose in daily routines. Importantly, incremental improvement is not limited to professional achievements or tangible skills. It applies equally to mindset, emotional intelligence, relationships, and personal well-being. Small, deliberate actions to communicate better, manage emotions, show empathy, or care for your physical and mental health compound over time, improving not only your life, but the lives of those around you. Incremental, conscious improvement also builds a growth-oriented identity. When you consistently focus on being slightly better than you were yesterday, you reinforce the belief that growth is possible, and that effort, reflection, and adaptation lead to meaningful change. This mindset becomes self-sustaining. The habit of improvement fuels motivation, which in turn drives further action, creating a positive cycle of development. Ultimately, transformation is not about dramatic moments. It is about the quiet accumulation of intentional choices and deliberate actions. Each day, each decision, and each effort compounds into a life that reflects progress, purpose, and fulfillment. The power of transformation lies in persistence, mindfulness, and the recognition that even small steps, when taken consistently, can lead to extraordinary outcomes. By committing to daily conscious improvement, you take ownership of your growth, harness momentum, and create the conditions for lasting, meaningful change. When we step back and look at the journey of transformation, one thing becomes clear: lasting change does not come from luck, shortcuts, or external validation. It comes from intentionality, awareness, and consistent action. By cultivating self-awareness, we gain clarity about who we are and what truly matters. By reflecting daily, we align our actions with our values and goals, creating coherence and purpose in our lives. Through gratitude and learning, we turn challenges into opportunities, finding lessons in every experience and appreciating the abundance already present. By considering the impact we have on others, we understand that life's greatest meaning comes not just from personal success, but from connection, contribution, and relationships nurtured with care. And through incremental conscious improvement, we see that transformation is not a dramatic leap, but a series of small, deliberate steps that compound over time to create profound change. When these principles come together, awareness, alignment, gratitude, impact, we hold the tools to live a life of purpose, fulfillment, and influence. Transformation is not a distant goal, it is a daily practice. It is a commitment to ask the hard questions, to reflect honestly, and to act intentionally. Every day is an opportunity to grow, to align, to impact, and to evolve into the best version of ourselves. The power to transform your life lies not in circumstances or chance, but in the choices you make, the awareness you cultivate, and the actions you take consistently. Embrace these principles, make them part of your daily life, and watch how, step by step, reflection by reflection, your life shifts from ordinary to extraordinary.